Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, everybody, Charles here, and welcome to another great show. Now, listen, I found this guy online, seeing some great things that he does. And one thing that I love about it, because, I'm a guy that loves my comics. I love watching cartoons. Yeah, I'm a big man that watches cartoons. But one thing I love about it, it's for us. It's by us. It looks like us. And I can't wait to show you what I'm talking about. So please welcome to the show, Mr. Jackson. How you doing, my friend?
I personally don't think I've had enough Red Bulls to keep up with you, so I don't know how. I better get my Monsters. I better get my Red Bulls. Wow, yeah, what an intro. I'm good, brother. I know you good because you can't get that.
Listen, I saw what you're doing, and I'm like, yeah, this is what I got. This is the stuff that I'm talking about. It's for us. It's by us. It looks like us. And here, I'm going to go full screen on you right now so people can see what's behind you.
Oh, man. Okay.
You got your bodyguards right there to the left and to the right. That's there.
That's my guys. We're not here to play games, man. We're not here to play.
There we go. But before we get into that, because I'm all excited, let's get to know you a little bit more. Born and raised, where are you from?
I'm born and raised in the Bronx. Go Yankees. I lived there for the first 37 years of my life. I spent the rest of these years living in Western Massachusetts. But the Bronx, but you can't take the Bronx out of the boy.
So here's the question for you. The little boy in you growing up, what did you want to do? What did you want to become?
Yeah, I wanted to be a doctor. I'd always been fascinated with the human body. I'm still fascinated with the human body. And so I wanted to be a doctor. That was kind of my dream. My career path went nowhere near that direction, but that's what I wanted to be when I was a kid.
So you just want to cut people open and find out what's inside and go from there.
I think once I found out that was part of the gig, I'm like, yeah, I'm not about that life. That's what brought me back.
Oh, okay. Cutting it, the blood. It's all the blood and guts, right?
Yeah. I just wanted to be the good-looking doctor with the coat, and pocket protector, and with the nurses hanging around him. But yeah, it was just once I found it was more involved than that, I'm like, all right, maybe that's not the path for me.
All right. So then you skipped the doctorhood. Where did you go from there? What was the next level?
Oh man, I started out working as a stock boy and worked my way up to manager, and I did everything from selling cards to selling encyclopedias, which I know is dated myself. And prior to becoming an author, I worked for Allied Waste as a sales representative, selling trash dumpsters of all things. But it was a good gig. I made good money, supported myself and my family pretty well until I got the idea to become an author. And as they say, the rest is history.
So when was that? When was the light bulb that just went bing? And then you just got I could do this.
Yeah, it all started about 13 years ago when my son was 8. He asked me a question that would change my life. He said, "Dad, can we open up a lemonade stand?" And we went to the corner of the house where we live in Western Massachusetts. And in 3 hours, he made $50 selling lemonade. And said, "Dad, what am I going to do with this $50?" And I said, "I don't know." So I went to my local bookstore to try to find a book to teach my son about money. And I couldn't find a book. So I wrote a book. That book is titled Danny Dollar. I had to self-publish it because no one would publish it for me. And up to this point, I've sold probably about 120,000 copies of this book.
Okay, so hold on. Stick a pin, backtrack 2 steps. What do you mean nobody is going to publish it for you? What do you mean? Well, nobody wanted to publish it.
So after it took me a year to write the manuscript, I submitted it to 147 agents and publishers, and I was rejected 147 times. No one wanted to publish it. So I had to start my own self-publishing company. I titled that company Big Head Books. You can see why.
Okay, good name.
And it took me a year to learn how to publish. And after 2 years, of writing and publishing, this book was born. And it was really one of the most powerful days of my life because it made me realize that I could do anything.
All right, so I'm going to backtrack one more time because the things that you say, and I always tell everybody, what do you mean? What were they saying? Why didn't they want to publish it? Somewhere and tell you, Steve, well, it's not quite what we're looking for, or the demographics we're seeing. What was the garbage they were spitting out?
It was all of the above. I mean, they didn't really see the demographic. I don't think anybody was going to be that blatant and saying, "Hey, a black kid teaching people about money." I don't think we're about that life. I don't think they didn't say that. but they will say, oh, we have a book similar to this. And like, oh, I don't think that's the right project for us. You know, it was all very vague rejections. And after a while, after like months and months of submitting manuscripts, I just realized like no one was going to do this. And I certainly wasn't going to let 147 strangers dictate the success that I knew was waiting for me, because I knew this book was important. And I'm constantly proved every day, from kids and financial institutions and places that are literally around the world, that this book has changed the lives of countless people. So I'm very proud that I found the courage to do it myself.
So I like backstories. Give me one story that a parent came and told you about the book, and how did it make you feel?
So I can tell you a recent story, as recent as last year, that there was a young man who read Danny Dollar. It gave him the courage to become his own entrepreneur. He started his own T-shirt selling business. He made $1,500 selling T-shirts. He took that money and took 10 kids who couldn't afford to go to summer camp and paid their tuition for summer camp with the money that he made.
Nice.
And I get countless testimonies like that all the time, especially through a financial literacy program titled Danny Dollar Academy, which was created by an economics professor from Northern Kentucky University. Over 20,000 students have gone through Danny Dollar Academy, and right now the Federal Reserve of Cleveland is now implementing this program. So it's really taken on a life of its own.
So the two young gentlemen beside you, who are they choreographed after?
So this is old school Danny and new school Danny. So this is old school Danny, who is the character from the very first book. And then I got a different illustrator, and they created the second book, which is the character behind me over here. So they're both the same character. They're just, illustrated a little bit differently because the illustrator is different. So
and where did you get the image from? Was it your son? Did they look like your son, or did you find somebody?
No, like the illustrator and I just worked on the character to see what it looks like. I wouldn't say that it looked like my son, but there are millions of kids who have seen themselves within this character, which gives me a tremendous sense of pride. But no, I wouldn't say that it's mimicked after anyone specifically. It's, the illustrator and I just kind of worked on the characteristics and how it would look, and this is what we came up with, and we're pretty happy with it.
So moving on to the next book, because then I'm going to show them pretty soon that you got a slew of books, slew of things that came out. This one just took off, and then after that, you caught the bug.
So which book is that?
So number one, let's go for number one all the way through. What was the next chapter in your life after that one?
Okay, so after this Danny was done, my second book is titled When I Close My Eyes. It's a picture book that teaches kids about the power of imagination. You can see in this picture here that the little girl is sitting in the forest or in the jungle, but actually prior to that, she's sitting in the park. And when she closes her eyes and uses her imagination, she takes the things around her and turns them into something completely different. So each chapter kind of takes the little girl on a journey, going from her bathtub to the ocean, and then later on, she is going from bedtime to outer space. So it really teaches children about the power of imagination. So that was my second book. My third book is titled The Super Duper Kid, just a classic good versus evil superhero story. And in fact, in 2 days, this book is going to debut as a theatrical production with the 14 performances in which half of them are already sold out, which is like amazing. The sequel to that book is titled Move. Again, just a spin-off of the very first book, and both of them are doing exceptionally well. And then my most recent book is titled Make Your Own Money, which is a spin-off of, again, my first book, Danny Dollar, teaching kids the steps on exactly how kids can make their own money. And I do have another picture book, which I'm out of stock on. So You Are Amazing.
So where did all these ideas come from? So like the picture book with the little girl that you can dream what you want, did somebody tell you about it, ask you, like, where did these ideas come from?
Believe it or not, the concept for When I Close My Eyes came from a stick of bubble gum. If you've ever had a pack of Bazooka bubble gum, which I'm sure it comes wrapped up in a little cartoon or a comic. And this comic had a joke, and the joke was, what is the one animal you don't want to play games with?
What's the one animal you don't want to play games with?
A cheetah.
Okay. Okay.
Dude, when I read that joke, I laughed for about a half an hour. I thought that was the funniest thing I had read in a long time. A nice, good, clean, funny joke. And
Yeah.
then it made me think, well, what's the only way that a kid could play with games with a cheetah? It would have to be in their imagination. And the moment that I thought that, I closed my eyes and this book just poured out of me. I actually wrote this entire book in 15 minutes.
Nice.
After getting that stick of bubble gum.
See, it's all flowing through. It's all flowing through. Now, the one that got me is the action hero. You know what I mean? Those books, when I see them, because we need more action heroes. You know, when I see, the action hero and I see myself when growing up, we pretended to be those type of characters and we write them in there. What's the books that you want? And when they're watching the money and the books and everything, what are the young ones, little guys coming in and saying to you?
Well, I think first of all, kids, especially children, especially Black kids, are saying, they're grateful to be able to see themselves reflected in literature. Because sadly, very often, kids will say this is the first time that they felt seen or represented as a character in literature. Because these characters are all contemporary, they're all speaking the language that they speak, and kids can easily see themselves reflected. So very often, kids and parents alike are just saying thank you for making me feel seen and relevant. What's also important to me is that these characters are not stereotypically Black. They're just their average, every ordinary day kids. And that really matters to me, because the more that we continuously put ourselves in boxes and we're talking about our Black skin or our Black hair or our Black plight, while they are empowering for some kids of color, and I understand that they're important, I don't want to dismiss them. I think what you do is that you alienate everybody else, and you don't allow other people from other races and other nationalities to be able to see people of color or Black kids depicted in a fun, cool, and contemporary way. I've had white kids who have wanted to be the super duper kid for Halloween and stuff like that, because they're not seeing a Black kid as a superhero. They're seeing a superhero who just happens to be a Black kid. And so that really matters to me, for parents and children to be able to say, this character looks like me and represents me. Even kids that aren't Black will see themselves in this character. And to me, I think that's really powerful.
All right. Now it's time to get to know you a little bit better.
Uh-oh.
It's time for rapid fire. What's going to happen is you're going to pick A, B, and C. You're going to get 2 minutes on the clock. You can answer the questions. You can elaborate, but remember, you got to answer all these questions in just 2 minutes. So give me A, B, or C, sir.
A. I'm an A. Let's go.
All right. The first question is going to start when the 2 minutes is hitting on the clock. We're going to get you some music in the background.
When the music comes on, it's a problem. Okay.
Here we go. 2 minutes starting now. What is your favorite drink?
Seltzer water.
Where are you most productive?
At my dining room table.
When are you most productive?
First thing in the morning.
Who inspires you and why?
My mom, because she is my greatest superhero.
Summer or winter?
Oh, summer. Not even a debate.
What is the one thing that's happening to you right now that you wanted to scream about?
I am going to have my book turned into a play in 2 days. It's mind-blowing to me.
What's your favorite number and why?
31. It's my birthday, baby.
What's your favorite cake?
I'm real plain when it comes to cake. I just like a yellow cake with chocolate frosting. Keep it simple.
All right, here we go. Favorite start of the day?
When my feet touch the ground, it feels good to have my feet down on the cool floor. Just make me feel a little alive.
What was your worst subject in school?
Math. Oh my gosh, the fact that I write a book about financial literacy but sucked in math is definitely cause for concern.
Okay, let's make you feel better. What was your best subject in school?
Biology, science. Like I said, I wanted to be a doctor when I was a kid, so biology was everything. Killed biology.
With 26 seconds on the clock, my friend. You made it through rapid fire. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to jump right into your website and some of these great books. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. CMJ Entertainment is a one-stop shop. CMJ Entertainment helps people do any type of events, and it's a marketing tool as well. So we'll cover everything from start to finish. If it's a wedding, we'll make sure your wedding is over the top. And if it's an event, we make sure that everybody gets information at the end of the day. Give us a call at 416-414-8964 or online, go to cmjent.com. Yes, we're back live with my good friend here. All right, we're going to jump right into the website because I want everybody to have a chance to buy these great books. So tell us more, how we can buy, what we can do. Let's go straight to your books.
So yeah, these are my babies.
So this was the first one, like you said, Danny Dollar, and then you can get them right there. And then you move to, I guess he gets a little older, so now he needs to make some more money for his bikes, you know, his girlfriend.
Don't we all? Isn't that how it works? Yeah, no question.
So then how's that book been going? Like, what's the difference, the jump? Explain to us the difference in the two books.
So Danny Dollar, the very first book, is very story-based. You know, it's a story of a young kid who opens up a lemonade stand and local bullies sabotage the lemonade stand, and then something, you know, happens that he did not foresee coming. And it's a really great kind of twist at the end of the book, and I think it's made it a bestseller 4 times over. I think it's a really strong, great story. Implemented throughout the story are just little bits of information about what's debt, what's interest, you know, and things like that, just to teach children about the basic, simple principles of finance and entrepreneurship. The second book is actually a guide. It's a step-by-step guide or blueprint to tell you how you can make your own money. And once you make it, what do you do with it? You know, how do you save it? How do you spend it? So I think they really complement each other, where one is a great form of entertainment. The other is a great guide to teach you how to do the things that Danny's entertaining you about.
Yeah, and what I do like about it is you have certain things on it there. You have earn, save, spend, and dream big. Like, these are the things you can do with your money. I think it's a great concept for the kids to understand that money can bring you a lot more stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Like, you know, my favorite genre of books to read are usually motivational or inspirational books, and there's just not a lot of them for kids. And I mean, every kid, regardless of, you know, black, white, male, female, at some point you're going to need to learn about money. You're going to, at least you should. And you know, we're a pretty naive society when it comes to financial literacy, and we predominantly gravitate to things that we learn very early on in our lives. And so the sooner that kids can learn about money, the better off they're going to be in their future.
All right. So then You Are Amazing, I Am Amazing. What's that one about?
So that book is another kind of self-esteem. It's a self-esteem book. It teaches kids to know that they are the most amazing thing in the world. I don't think we tell our children enough how amazing and special it is that they are. So this book helps parents tell their kids exactly that.
And then the last thing I've been seeing here, you got some swag going on. Tell us a little bit about the swag.
So the hoodies and the T-shirts and the bags with the term "read or else" on it all stemmed from work I was doing along with a business partner of mine that we were doing in local jails, promoting the importance of reading to inmates, letting them know that, you know, how illiteracy is directly connected to so many things that ail our country, and that there's still a way to empower their kids through the power of books to become the best versions of themselves, because illiteracy is directly connected to mass incarceration, amongst other things. So in other words, read or else. So we put that slogan on a T-shirt, and with every T-shirt or hoodie we sell, we send a copy of Danny Dollar to a child in a Title I school or a homeless shelter.
Oh, that's a great idea. I like that idea a lot.
Thank you.
All right. So then at the end of the day, what is your message to the little kids about reading and about books and about being an author?
That, you know, one, I think it's impossible to be a leader in life without being a reader in life. I mean, books are our greatest form of information. We all know that knowledge is power, and the ability to be able to learn independently through books is really essential to growth and development. of you as a person. It's also such a great source of entertainment. I mean, most of the television shows and TV shows we watch are derived originally from books. So not only do they empower us, they also entertain us. And I would also say to parents, like, it's really essential for you to realize how much reading matters and to be able to talk up to our kids. I don't think we do a very good job of that. I think that we're very often talking them on their level. I think we need to let them come up to our level and let them have a better understanding of the world of finance and emotion and just life in general. So let's stop talking down to our kids or meeting them where they are. Let them come up and meet us where we are.
Yeah, that's a great point, that, we can bring them early and teach them early about entrepreneurship, about different things in the world. Sometimes I feel like we shadow our kids because we want to, keep them in that little cocoon and
Yep.
protect them, instead of showing them that, yeah, it's a big world out there. You got to get there fast.
100%. And that they should be strong enough and independent enough to get there on their own. And books, were my thing. When my friends were out playing basketball, I was in the house reading. I think it's that prowess that my mother introduced me to that what made me the author that I am today.
Beautiful. All right, my friend, it's time one more time.
Now time for victory!
It's now time for pick three, and it's a real simple thing. You're going to pick your last three questions before we let you go from this interview. All you got to do is pick three numbers between 1 and 13, and those are the questions you get to ask yourself.
All right, let's go. I was A before. I'm 1, 2, 3 now.
1, 2, 3. All right, here we go. Question number 1. What is one thing you wish you would have known before getting into this industry?
That bookstores could care less about indie authors. They don't care. So to think that your books are going to get on the bookshelves of Barnes and Nobles, no matter how much you invested in them, is just futile. The bookstores don't care.
They don't care about you. They don't care about the book. Elaborate on that.
The bookstores and the industries of publishing and bookstores have their own method and methodology for getting their books on the shelves, and they don't really include you. People come in there a dime a dozen talking about the books that they have. And for the most part, if it doesn't fit in the standard way that they order and get their books, they don't care. Which is why it is important for authors to try to become published, because then it works within the publishing system. If you can't get through that system, then it's hard to get your books onto bookshelves. So now you've got to beg and plead for people to take your books, and they take them. If they do take them at all, they'll throw them in a corner somewhere. They won't sell. And it becomes futile. So instead, it's important for you to establish a network of people who will find your book of relevance. Again, my books are about financial literacy, so I go directly to banks, directly to credit unions, directly to financial institutions, and eliminate the middleman. My objective is to put books in hands, not to put them on bookshelves. So I find that the institutions that want to empower their kids through my work, and that way I'm able to sell my books to those institutions and working with them to lift up their mission of promoting financial literacy.
Makes sense. All right, number 2, what is the biggest failure and what did you learn from it?
I haven't failed in anything because I don't look at failure as a negative. I look at it as an opportunity to win, as an opportunity to learn. So even those 147 rejections that I got when somebody wouldn't publish my book forced me to create my own skill set so that I can create my own work. And now I've sold over 150,000 books on my own independently. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if I went the direction of getting self-published. So I don't believe in failures. I believe in opportunities for us to learn. So even when you have a quote unquote bad day, you take the things from that, you take those principles and you build off of them so that you don't repeat them.
All right, last question. What advice would you give someone trying to get into your industry, into your business? What advice would you give them?
Have the courage to be able to believe in yourself. I think we very often suppress our own greatness and our own gifts. I was just talking with someone who says that they're uncomfortable about putting themselves on social media. Why? Where is the insecurity lie? Where there are millions of people out there showcasing themselves in the most ridiculous ways, but somehow or another you don't have the courage to be able to put yourself out there. the way that the world works now, you're going to need social media to get this. I mean, you said yourself, that's how you found me. That's how I got on this platform. If I was apprehensive to get out there into the world and showcase myself and my works, then I don't get the opportunity to be on great shows like this. People have to find the courage within themselves to showcase their greatness, because not only will it propel them, it will also allow other people to see the greatness within themselves and establish that same sense of courage.
Yeah, definitely. And with that step of courage, you put yourself out there. People are loving your books. You know, you're making a step for yourself. You're getting to that next level. And that's all that matters. And these are great gift ideas. These are things that you should be putting everybody, you know, toys are great. You know, you put a toy, but I think what we do now is we put a toy and a book. Every toy we give, it's a toy and a book. You don't just get a toy, you get a toy and a book, because this is how you're going to move to the next level. Definitely do that for you and yours. All right.
Agree.
Anybody out there you want to shout out to? I'm giving you the opportunity to shout them out.
Oh, man, listen, I want to shout out my kids, Martique Jackson, my mom, Eddie Taylor, Rachel Malley, Jordan Dietz, me. I want to shout out me. You know what I'm saying? I want to shout me out. You know,
hey, this is your practice when you win the award for the best playwright. You know what I mean?
That's right. And special shout out to my girlfriend, Nani Todd. My gosh, you have literally changed my life. I'm so grateful for you.
There you go. All right, everybody. Like I always say, you didn't have to watch, but I'm so glad that you did. Education is key. But what's a great way of education and educating our young ones? Give them something fun. Give them something that they can see themselves. These are great books that they can see themselves and educate them at the same time. Thanks for watching. Shout somebody out. We'll see you next time, everyone.
Has come to an end, but the fun doesn't have to stop here. If you have any questions, suggestions, or feedback, head over right now to Twitter and Facebook and like, share, and get involved. Join us next time.
Please be advised that this podcast is meant for educational and informational purposes only and is in no way a replacement for legal or medical advice. The opinions contained within are solely those of the interviewers and interviewees and should be received as so. Those seeking help or advice are encouraged